Unless you have one of those long belly putters, in which case, haha, you pussy.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, presented by CinemaSins.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, a weekly look at everything going on inside the world of CinemaSins. I'm Aaron Dicer, and this week I'm joined by fellow Bafflegabbers Jonathan Watkins.
Hello, hello.
Ian Whittington.
I didn't get pulled over.
Jeremy Scott.
What?
Chris Atkinson.
Hello.
Daniel Cardoso.
Hi.
And Deneé Hughes.
I'm not fired yet, right?
We write for
Not yet.
CinemaSins and TV Sins and do various other things inside the CinemaSins universe as well. We are live from SinWEEK! Yes! So welcome to the live episode of BTS. If you are a Sin Club member, I think this one goes out to
$2,000 and above.
$2,000 a month and above.
Yeah.
No, this one is the $5 a month and above. I think we'll have access to this one for the month of SinWEEK, and then of course all of our videos are accessible to our Peeper members at $10 a month and above all year round. So why am I getting that look already?
No, it's just the peeper thing. It's always a little creeper peeper.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's
that's
kind
the
of
point.
that
But
is
it
the
also,
point.
I'm always like, ooh.
So you can go watch the insanity as well as just listen to it as maybe you're doing right now.
That's right. Just look to camera and make like just dead stare.
Podcast, just loving the silence right now.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into an adapted episode of BTS. We will do some SinSide Scoop. We'll take a look at all the videos from this week, including the bonus videos. We're going to go to the writers of those videos just for some observations.
Then
Just the
take a nap.
CinemaSins, though, right?
No.
Yes, just the CinemaSins. Correct. That's a good point. Just the CinemaSins videos this week because there is a CinemaSins video, if you are a Sin Club member, for every day of the week, on the week, I should say weekdays. Every weekday of the week.
Which is different than the weekdays of
the non-weeks. Yes, those
Every
non-weeks.
day that doesn't start with S.
Yes.
Correct.
Any day has a video.
Thank you, Jeremy. That is the better. Yes, all the days that don't start with S. We'll have a CinemaSins video this week. Then we will hop into a game. We'll play some Sin to Win. Deneé is going to lead a Sin to Win game, and we will do that. And then we have some questions we may answer from behind the scenes after that if we've got time. So let's get into it with the SinSide Scoop.
What's he building in there?
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
This is a true story.
We're going to take a look at the videos from the week, the process of sending them, how we felt about the stuff we were sending in general. We'll kick it off with the first bonus video of the week, Street Fighter. This was an Atkinson Whittington script, so Chris and Ian writing on this one. Chris, we'll go to you first. What are some of your thoughts on putting together the Street Fighter video?
As bad as Street Fighter is,
Nope.
What?
Nope. It's brilliant.
It was one of the most fun Sin experiences I've had.
Nice.
Writing on something, just because, you know, even these type of movies, there's a nostalgia to them. First off, but then there's like crazily finding good things about a movie like this that you've shat on for years and everything. And I saw this in theaters. Obviously, I was working at a theater that had this, and but I was just I don't know. It's just one of those movies that I was like, man, this is terrible, but I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That is a common experience in our job sometimes too. Like some of the worst movies are some of the most fun to write stuff on for sure. I think we've had that experience.
When the sin writes itself and it just something happens and you just go,
Yeah.
just play the ding.
yeah.
Ian, what about you?
Yeah, I knew this film by reputation and obviously played the video games growing up, and I knew just like notoriously Street Fighter is one of the worst, not just one of the worst video game adaptations, but just one of the worst movies ever. And I just really enjoyed it. I had like, the bar was so low, but it's so terrible, but you just laugh at it, and you don't know if it's laughing at itself or that it's deliberately being over the top. I think Van Damme he just exists in this movie. Like, I don't think he realizes whether he's taking a mickey out of himself or not. But yeah, I had so much fun singing it, and it's just got some of the most ridiculous quotes, like the Bison quote that we love. The day that Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday. It's just so great every time you hear it, and Van Damme's delivery of like some of his one-liners. It's just like, do you know what you're saying? You're delivering that like it's extremely serious, but you just said you're off the air. But it's delivered with all seriousness.
Do you ever wonder if Van Damme like practiced like his line reads
every day, still today?
He's
still practicing
I just gotta
them
get
now.
this read perfect.
Yeah.
So much came out of that shoot, though, that Van Damme was recovering from cocaine during this. Actually, was on cocaine and had to recover from cocaine.
So he was studying a different kind of lines.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was showing Kylie Minogue his Thailand, as he said.
Right. He said that those very words. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's Street Fighter. Any thoughts from the rest of the panel on Street Fighter before we move on?
I haven't seen it since the theater. I mean, I saw it. I was like, I guess 18, 17, something like that. Was it 94?
Yeah, it was 94.
Yeah, so I remember it being bad, but I can see Ian's perspective.
No, it is bad. It is 100% bad. I just had such a good time.
But it can be an enjoyable bad.
Yeah.
I could see that. Steven D'Souza, that was one of the last times I really remember, because he was all over the 80s, like just writing action films and all this stuff. And this was his directorial debut, and then I don't remember him doing much of anything after this. So
yeah,
I don't know.
He didn't do much.
No, Ian, you know how it goes. Now you will be the person who loves Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's canon.
You're just going to have to own that.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to own it.
I've got Jason Takes Manhattan. You've got Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We've all got something. In fact, I've got Red Notice. So this is a Dicer Whittington script.
Yeah.
The second one that came out this week. And I actually do kind of like this movie. I know that's terrible. But I think it's just Ryan Reynolds. I think what it is for me is I'm much more gracious with movies when I like hanging out with the people in the movies, and I can just stand, whatever nonsense is going on in them. Because this, I mean, it's not a great movie, but it sure is a lot of fun to watch for me. So I had a good time with it. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, I hated the tits off of this movie, like, from the second I watched it. I fell asleep during it, so I maybe...
What did tits ever do to you?
I've done this so much over the last year because I watched this for fun. And just fell asleep, woke up at the end, and I was like, none of this makes any sense. But watching it for sinning purposes was
Wait,
like,
you fell asleep
okay.
during half the movie and woke up thinking none of it made sense?
I woke
Okay,
up
fair.
I woke up after the twist. I was like, why? What is The Rock doing? But Ryan Reynolds is fun to watch, and actually watching it this time round, I did enjoy it. It's still not great, but I enjoy watching Ryan Reynolds because he just writes all of this stuff himself, just turns up and is him. But for the Sins video, I love that we rip films apart for the London England thing so much, and yet we still sin them when they just say London. They're doing what we ask them to do, but we're still like, nah, we got to pull something out of this. So getting Jeremy to scream the place names.
One of the most
London.
One of the
So
most fun
impressive.
things in a video. It's so much fun. I also liked your third egg conflict.
Third egg conflict cliche.
Yeah, that was really fun too.
They just write themselves.
Yeah. So this was definitely a fun one to write on. Any other Red Notice thoughts from the rest of the panel?
I haven't seen it, but I saw 6 Underground.
Okay.
If you want to talk about
I
that.
forgot about that movie.
Sure. Say a few words.
I hated it.
There you go. That's a few words.
Did you take me down to 6 Underground? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what I did. And everybody in the audience does not know what you're talking
I'm
about
with Ian
because we
there.
are old.
We are old.
Oh, gotcha. I'm with Ian on Red Notice. It's ridiculous. Aaron is wrong.
I'm with Ian on Red Notice. I just enjoyed it.
And I totally forgot until you said it, the twist. And holy shit, that is the worst twist.
It's so dumb.
It's a
It
twist that makes
undermines
the whole movie
everything.
worse.
Yeah.
It makes the whole movie worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it-
a terrible twist.
Yeah, that's why the movie's bad.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. All right, let's move into the second bonus video of the week, Love and Monsters. This was a Cardoso Whittington script. Good to see Ian writing on something finally.
I had a busy week.
About time.
Yeah, you did. Daniel, what are some of your thoughts on Love and Monsters?
I thought it was a pretty fun movie to watch. Like the first time I watched it, I enjoyed it. Like just watching it straight through. The longer I spent with it, the more like just how formulaic it was really kind of started to set in. And then I didn't like it as much, but like I think that like there are certain characters that like save it. Was it Michael Rooker?
Oh,
I forget his character and the little girl Minnow.
Yeah, Minnow's
Yeah.
right, and then his name is something I'm not going to remember. But yeah, he's great.
Yeah, like without them, I don't think I would have liked the movie pretty much at all. I feel like that kind of covers the middle part of the movie where the main character is pretty much useless, and then
Well, we would much rather watch that movie, like of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
doing stuff
Who's
in
the
the
main
wild.
guy in it? Is it the Maze Runner kid?
His name is
Dylan.
something else I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it's Dylan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Maze Runner. It's a Maze Runner kid. Yep. Or man, I guess he's not like a kid.
Little boy good at maze running.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Ian, thoughts?
Yeah, this film is so quirky. I really, really enjoyed it, but I don't think I can ever watch it again because the entire conceit is so problematic. Amy doesn't want him. Like, the reason he sets off on this journey, should and could have been avoided by the people that apparently love him, and Amy just saying, oh, dude, friends, but no more. But he just leaves without even telling her. They let him leave and just like, good luck, buddy. Like, you can't tie your shoelaces, but good luck in the wild against the giant caterpillars. And they just sort of let it happen. And then he has a radio call with Amy. And Amy could say, dude, if you're coming here because of your erection, that's a bad move. Like, go back. But she doesn't. She's like, cool, see you soon. It's so... How do you get invested in that journey when it's so bad? There were terrible people for letting him do this, and he should be dead. But yeah, I love the film. It's great.
Is this the one with Anne Hathaway controlling a kaiju?
No, that movie's amazing.
Oh, what was that called?
That's
I was joking.
Colossal. Yeah.
Audience got it first, for the record.
Heck yeah.
Colossal's great. Let's just talk about Colossal for the next time.
Okay.
That movie's amazing. Have you seen Colossal?
Yeah. No.
Should we do some deconstruction?
Wait, hold on. Is there a playground?
Yes.
Yep.
Is there people are robots, but on the flip somehow?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaiju, but yes.
Sure. Saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you made me see it.
I think I did make you see that one. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also made me watch the first 45 minutes of a movie called Lamb.
No.
No.
Nope.
Don't watch that movie. Don't.
Or if you do, make sure I'm around so I can watch you watch the movie. That's
Which
the
is a
most
little
important.
freaky.
Yeah. Yes.
And also there's a point when the movie changes from like, this is uncomfortable to this is fucking weird, and then it goes into another realm apparently. We stop before the other realm, and I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome. Yes, you're welcome. Speaking of weird movies, I'm just kidding. That's a terrible segue. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon
That's a really bad
was also
segue.
sent this week.
Try again.
Scott Watkins.
Speaking of a movie with people.
Speaking of
Weird one that
kaiju.
it sounds like that's just another writer. Like Scott Watkins wrote this one.
That's right.
He couldn't be here today.
Jeremy and Jonathan. Jeremy, some thoughts on Crouching Tiger? Or Hidden Dragon, or both.
You know, I liked the movie. I liked it a lot more in theaters when I saw it when it came out. I haven't seen it since until we came to Cine It. If anything, I think it needs to be longer because the romance between them feels just a little bit quick. I mean, they basically say they've loved each other for decades and never spoken about it or whatever, but that part of the movie...
You're talking about Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh.
I am, yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Also, we could do a whole podcast on the 30 minutes in the middle where we're like, meanwhile, in the desert, and we follow this girl and her captor who she falls in love with, as you do. Yeah, it doesn't hold up as well as I remember. And we had a weird issue on this one because we had to decide whether we were going to use subtitles or use the original language. But the subtitles that the movie was providing did not always match the dub of the English-speaking person, and so we had to kind of like group up to figure out, okay, which version are we going to watch? How are we going to actually dissect this? Anyway, it didn't destroy the movie for me or anything, but it didn't hold up quite as well as I remembered.
Jonathan?
Yeah, no, this was like, because Chris and Jeremy have talked about like how Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Isn't that the one where you were like, if people have asked you like what's a movie that when you watched it for sense purposes, you were like, oh, I don't really like this. Yeah, that's what happened with me here. That I remember I sent Jeremy a message or something saying like, I don't remember this Zhang Ji like kidnap love story taking so long. He's like, I don't remember a lot of this taking so long. And that's kind of how I felt through most of it. I don't know. I remember liking this when I saw it in the theater, but it did not hold up at all. And as far as the dub thing, that was weird, but I don't think that's why I didn't like it. But I love that we did that because I was able to get that sin in, like, you know, everyone's speaking English. And I haven't looked at comments yet, but I'm sure there's someone that was like, well, you know, you used a dub version.
I'm
right?
sure there is.
That I always enjoy. I enjoy trolling. It's fun. When I'm nice, I don't know how to. That sounds terrible. I don't want to go on record saying I enjoy trolling.
Too late.
Damn it!
I can speak from
It's over
experience.
now.
You do love
Too
trolling
late.
me.
Live on the internet.
I do not troll Ian.
But that's not true though, because we do talk about it on BTS that sometimes you're writing something and you know that you're purposefully like egging people on, and we're kind of like, so we do like it.
Oh, I've run across some emails recently where I've said something to the effect of, "Oh, this is gonna piss people off."
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so it's always been in the DNA of this type of thing. So.
And
Yeah.
it's not like it's just the part of like it's silliness, like making a statement or making a comment that you know, like purposefully getting something wrong, like on Star Wars or something, for example.
Like saying "May the Force be with you" at a Star Trek podcast.
Yeah. No one would really ever do that
No, of
because they'd be a
course,
total
no.
asshole.
Right.
But,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
But also, it fits with the whole thing with the narrator, right? He's going to complain about everything, even if he's watching a dubbed version. He's going to complain that they're speaking English, even that's kind of what my thinking is, I guess.
Yeah.
When I write stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I was reviewer on this one, and I'm pretty sure I was because I rewatched this movie for some reason. And I remember thinking the same thing, Jeremy, that it's not what I remember it being, and I don't remember why I loved it so much. Watching it
the
through
stuff
again.
that's good is really good though. Like the fight in the trees is like it's awesome. Like I love the way they filmed that. I love the way they did it. And there's a fight early on, but like pretty much the entire middle, I didn't care at all about the Shang-Chi. I think that's right. That's her, and then the whole Stockholm Syndrome kidnapping subplot where she falls. I don't know that none of that interested me at all. So that's what really took me out of it, I think. And then like Jeremy said, the Chow Yun-Fat Michelle Yeoh stuff's nice, but they don't do enough with it. So.
Yeah. And finally, just out today as we're recording this, for our Sin Club members, the final bonus video of the week, Upgrade. This was Jeremy and Chris, an Atkinson Scott script. So, Chris, why don't you start? Some thoughts on Upgrade and sending it.
Upgrade is one of those movies that, man, I love it more every time I watch it. There's just something, I don't know, there's something very dynamic about it. And Lee Whannell is showing that he's going to be a force. I don't know if his movies are doing well enough he needs to finally get that one that like really breaks through. Invisible Man may have done okay, but Upgrade is just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun, and enjoyed sending it. It's not one that like. I mean, it has a lot of sins, but not like a lot. Like it's not you're not having to stop it every 5 seconds or anything like that. But yeah, this movie was a lot of fun to send. I loved it.
Jeremy?
He has a robot house that keeps track of how many eggs they have, right? And you need to go get more eggs. But nobody updates that computer after his wife dies. So he's wheelchairing through the kitchen, and the computer's like, well, I should be joining us for dinner. And I'm just like, who the bastard that did not update that computer? The computer's smart enough to know she's dead.
I mean,
right?
you would hope that if it can know when an egg's been used, that it can
That
know
was
when
my
a
biggest
human's
complaint.
been
This movie
used.
freaking rules. That was my biggest complaint with the movie.
My biggest complaint with this movie is just the fact that it's a Big Brother society, and he's just wandering around everywhere. Like, how are they not seeing him everywhere?
Right. Yes, exactly.
And there are even moments in this movie where the computer or the AI is telling him, we need to do this and this and this and be very careful, and then they cut straight to the next thing that he's doing without any consideration whatsoever of those things. The biggest one, one of the biggest ones, is where the AI is like saying, we need to make sure that we get a hacker to come in here, or else the boss man's going to cut us off or whatever. And like, instead of going ahead and doing that, they go and do that whole thing at the bar and everything. That's the big thing for me, was the Big Brother society, the drones that don't take good video of anything, and then like the whole thing where it's like, well, they could manipulate the drones if they wanted to. It's like, yeah, but why don't you take closer pictures of things in case they don't, And so that was the big thing for me in this. But all in all, it's one of those things that you just ignore while you watch a really slick, cool movie with all his awesome little camera moves and everything during the action scenes. So
yeah, and it's kind of become his calling card, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of his
Does an
thing.
Invisible Man
Does
as
an
well.
Invisible Man as well. Yeah, so that's cool.
I like Logan Marshall Green a lot too. I know, like, I remember when this came out, a lot of people were calling him like Tom Hardy light and stuff, kind of joking around. But like, I don't know, I really dig him. So it's really awesome
we
that he has this
leaned
movie.
into the Tom Hardy on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Because he does look like he and Jai Courtney and all them like kind of gonna have some sameness.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Jai Courtney, I definitely consider that. But Logan Marshall Green's great. He's in. If you guys haven't seen The Invitation, that's a really killer movie that he's in. That's a very different movie than Upgrade, but I dig him.
The villain also looks like a bunch of people too. I remember there were discussions in the process of this.
I think between the two of us, and you were. Were you
Ian
reviewing?
Yeah, I reviewed this one.
So between the three of us, I think we came up with like 4 or 5 different. This guy looks like this guy. Because I did the Jared Leto.
Yeah, and we both wrote Dane DeHaan in 2 different sins. I was going to, because we had 2 Jared Letos at one point, I was going to change it to Rami Malek and decided not to. And then Ian looked at it and goes, he gave me a Rami Malek fan. So I was like, all right, we're going to change it to Rami Malek then.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing stuff. All right, let's move into a game now. Let's play some Sin to Win.
What do you want to do? You want to play a game?
Please, nobody ever lets me play.
I want to play a game.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Competition is meaningless.
We're going to play a game together to separate the winners from the losers and the sinners from the Soozers. We're going to start with
We're
Deneé.
also going to stop because my arm is falling off.
Oh, no. All right, I got you.
I was
Thank
looking
you.
at your literal arm.
No, I was like,
that.
wow.
My podcast
yeah, I
arm
was
is
like,
falling.
What do you mean?
I adjusted it and it shifted. Sorry, that was my bad. Please hold while we experience technical difficulties.
This was almost going to be a really easy edit. So close.
Yep.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, to explain the game today, Deneé Hughes.
Shit! No, see, it's supposed to be you explain the game.
Oh, I'll explain the game.
So
That's
that
fine.
because I'm going to forget. No, I'm going to do my best.
Okay, do your best.
Okay, so here's what we do. First, we thank JCD for sending us our options. And JCD wanted to give a shout out to Atkinson, who also helped to create the game.
Nice.
So thank you guys for helping us do this. So I'm going to kick it to somebody on the team and give a clue. And this is a sin in a script.
Okay.
And you, based on that one sin, try to guess what the movie or the video is.
Okay.
Video/movie. And you can ask for the next one. I think there's up to 4 on each. But you have fewer and fewer points. So if you get on the first round, you get more points. If you
5
ask for more
points.
clues, then you get fewer points.
This game seems familiar.
You can also, it is familiar. You can also shift it to the next person if you want to.
Just skip?
Yeah, you
And
can be
then I
like,
don't get any
skip.
points?
You don't get anything except for the joy of being here.
Well, you can. I think what you would do is you could guess at the 5 point, and if you miss, it goes to the next
that's
person.
the other
They
part.
can guess
Yeah.
at the 5 point or hear another clue and go to the 3 point.
Yeah, it's very familiar. Okay. So I thought we could start with Daniel.
All right. Great.
The newest on the team. Okay, so here's your first clue. It's physically, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and physically impossible for this movie to get any dumber. Do you have any ideas? I mean, what
You want
a
another
vague
clue or take a
first
guess?
I'd like another clue, please.
Second clue. There is no way this is cruising altitude, and a plane of this type at this height would draw all kinds of suspicion. Movie doesn't even know how to airplane.
When did this video come out?
We can't tell you.
No clues.
Yeah, we can't tell you.
I think
What is this video called?
What is this? What is it called?
That's good. Everything wrong with. So
Wait, can you
strategic-
repeat that last one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So
It
the
is CinemaSins?
second one is there's no way this is cruising altitude, and a plane of this type at this height would draw all kinds of suspicion. Movie doesn't even know how to airplane.
I know this one.
How many people think they know what it is already?
Ooh.
Right. You
Can I
don't
get
count.
another clue?
Yep. Third clue is
All right.
despite John Cusack yelling this about the director, he was allowed to continue making this film.
Oh,
How many more people know? based on that one. Okay. Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it is not Jesus the movie.
It's not
It's not
everything wrong with
Jesus. Jesus is not correct.
That's next
I
week's
know
video.
this.
You've got one more clue.
You don't need it, Daniel.
Or you can
got
make
this.
a guess
You got this.
and get more points.
For 2 points right now.
Do you want me to give you all three of them
I
again?
I think I can see the movie. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
yeah. Start. Give me the first one again.
it is physically, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and physically impossible for this movie to get any dumber. There is no way this is cruising altitude in a plane of this type, of this height, would draw all kinds of suspicion. Movie doesn't know how to airplane. And then the third one. Is that helpful that I'm going that fast? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's
Despite
great.
John Cusack
That's
yelling
awesome.
about the director, he was not allowed to, he was allowed to continue making this film.
There's another clue.
What's
All
your
right,
what's your
sure.
what's your favorite hair dryer, Daniel?
Oh, everything wrong with Con Air.
There you go.
Oh.
That's not what I was guessing actually
Con
initially,
Air.
but
Okay.
Jonathan is feeling nice.
Oh, you are feeling nice.
Generous Jonathan.
Generous.
He's a
All
good man.
Daniel scores 2 points.
All right, Jonathan. That means
I'm
you're
impressed.
Up
I knew
next.
that was a hair dryer.
You're up next, then, Jonathan. Cheater. Your first clue, Jonathan, is also how many fucking globes do you need in this house?
Oh, Tomb Raider. Okay.
Oh.
Ooh, got
Big
him.
swing.
We got him. We got him, people. Okay, who's to go to next? 'Cause I'm-
That's probably. To
I
be
guess we're going
fair,
this way.
We probably have 3 or 4 globes. Sins.
I assure you, Tomb Raider has a lot of globes in a room.
Since I'm coming this direction, we'll just come this direction.
All right.
So it goes to
so
Aaron.
next clue.
So the next clue is. Oh, did you want to make a guess though?
No.
Oh. I sure am glad this movie spent time fleshing out this subplot, or else I might not have given a damn. Oh wait, I still don't.
That's not helpful. Next.
This is a hard one. I gave it to Jonathan on purpose.
Yeah.
That was like
that's
Mr.
fine.
Brains.
I'll get down to
He's
the
got-
last
okay,
clue,
okay.
take a guess, and then Chris will get a point.
This is a big one. This is a big one.
All right,
Are you
all right,
ready?
all right,
Okay. Lava. Lava melts. The biggest human antagonist of the movie, and we're supposed to feel bad about it.
Aaron, what's your favorite hair dryer?
Lava melts.
Lava melts the biggest human antagonist of the movie, and we're supposed to feel bad about it.
Biggest human antagonist
Not to be confused with Centipede.
in this movie.
Antagonist.
And we're supposed to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
What was the first one again?
Also, how many fucking globes do you need in this house?
Yeah. It's not,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not helpful.
Don't blame me. Blame JCD. That's our next shirt.
I think I know the franchise.
Uh-huh.
But lava. I'm going to take a guess.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Okay, goes to me. I'm just kidding. Goes to you.
Goes to me?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I have no idea.
Really? Come on. This is so easy.
It sure is, yes.
I picked the hardest one on purpose.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't.
Do you want the last one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks to the volcano, no one was racist in Los Angeles ever
Oh,
again.
it's Volcano.
There you go.
Point for Chris.
Did Tommy Lee Jones have a bunch of globes?
Yeah, that just goes to show you can write on a script and not remember anything.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know we did Volcano.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, you're up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Your first sin is movie explores the origins of juggling.
What did you say?
Wow.
What was that?
Movie explores the origins of juggling.
Okay.
How many know it based on that one alone?
Movie explores the origins of juggling.
Sounds like a you said.
I'm sure I wrote that, even if I don't.
All right, I need the second one.
Okay. This is exactly how Scooby and Shaggy would try to run from this thing.
This is not even that old.
This
I
is
wrote
how
that one too.
Scooby and Shaggy would try to run from this thing. Next one.
Wow. Okay. I'm not judging you or anything. I mean, I'm not saying I could do better. I could do better. I couldn't.
I can host next time.
No, no, it's a joke. I was just being sassy. Okay, surprise ending, less surprising, when the Mighty Ducks won the big hockey game.
What was the second one again?
This is exactly how Scooby and Shaggy would try to run from this thing.
And what was the Mighty Ducks one?
Surprise ending, less surprising than when the Mighty Ducks won the big hockey game.
Surprising ending, less surprising. So it doesn't have a very surprising ending. It's supposed to be surprising. Mighty Ducks. Does that mean it's sports? It doesn't necessarily mean it's sports.
The internal dialogue of Aaron Dicer.
This is what they tell you to do on game shows. You're supposed to talk. You're supposed to talk your reasoning out because it's more entertaining for the audience.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is the part where I don't know anything else, so I ask for another clue.
Wow. Not judging you. I forgot that androids can read alien language at first glance.
Androids can read alien language at first glance.
Good God.
I mean,
I was so wrong.
I can see the title, and I am so excited about this one.
I don't know, but there's no reason not to guess at this point. So was this the juggling one?
Yeah.
That seems like a year ago. What was the first?
It does seem. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
I thought it was very recent. It's not.
Okay. So the first one is the origins of juggling.
Movie explores the origins of juggling.
Okay.
This is exactly how Scooby and Shaggy would try to run away from this thing. Surprise ending, less surprising than when the Mighty Ducks won the big hockey game. And I forgot that androids can read alien language at first glance.
Androids
Read
alien language at first glance. I have no clue, so I'm.
Everybody poops, and if they don't, they're an android. Sorry.
So I'm just going to say
words into the atmosphere that are.
Oh my God! Guess.
He is so competitive.
I'm who? Ian? Yeah,
you.
I know.
Come on, Bray. Just
okay, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Why don't you pick something with an android at least?
You don't know there aren't androids in that movie.
Do you have a guess?
I mean, Prometheus, maybe?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Nice work. Nice work. That was
Wow.
the original
Very nice.
Prometheus
Wow.
running away from
Wow.
the school thing.
Wow. Wow. Neat. Exciting. Wow. All right. Chris,
What do you
are you
mean?
ready?
Did we do Prometheus running away from things in Prometheus?
No, only after. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I was
In
about
that
to say.
Sin video itself, we didn't even make that joke.
Okay.
They didn't even make the joke.
Right, you made the Scooby
inside
and
there.
Shaggy joke.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Are you ready? These birds are flying to join the birdemic. I'll let you debate which movie is better.
Oh man, I wrote this one and I don't even know. I don't even know.
Oh no.
What was it again?
The clue is these birds are flying to join the birdemic. I'll let you debate which movie is better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go to the next one.
Okay. This underwater craft built by an underwater civilization has no mechanism for detecting ginormous fish that might be swimming behind it within swallowing distance.
Phantom Menace.
You got it.
Nice.
You got it.
Wow. Wow. That one's impressive. You win.
Sure was.
I'm pretty sure you're winning this one. Jeremy, are you ready for your shot?
Yeah, other than this terrible leg cramp. Yeah, let's go.
I can skip you for.
I'm in horrible pain.
Horrible pain. Okay, just lean to the mic. If you want to make any grunting noises or anything. Okay. After falling 10 floors, none of these elevator passengers has thrown up or pissed their pants.
God, I think I know this.
What?
I think so.
Is it Speed?
Yes.
Exactly. That was my guess.
That is now a tie.
Oh,
Jeremy and Chris are now
shit.
tied.
Oh shit!
Jeremy once again proving he is the best at all of these games.
Jeremy and Chris are no longer allowed to play this game.
All right, Ian, you ready?
But if Chris or Jeremy win, it doesn't actually count, so I would still be in the lead. So I'm feeling pretty good.
And I'm the one that's competitive.
Yeah. Okay. Eating.
And I'm the troll.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Eating while talking to an unseen audience.
Next clue.
Wait. I saw this in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Only that movie had better use of colorful metaphors.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to think through my thoughts out loud. Man, I love working with Aaron. That lunch was great. I'm kind of thirsty. Now, next clue.
Thankfully, NASA has been using universal power cords for 40 years so that if you get stranded somewhere, you can just power up old tech with new batteries.
Is this gravity?
All right, you ready? It's to you, Daniel.
Oh.
You have a chance to guess. Or in your state of, if you just don't want to,
Can
you
I
can
guess
do what I
without
do.
Any more clues?
Yeah.
Is it Red Planet?
Jonathan.
Is it Armageddon?
Aaron.
I want another clue.
All right, this is the last one.
All right.
Incredibly, this stuff works. The movie would have been fine just to catch this dude in the way they planned, which was already hard enough, but they had to make it even more ridiculous.
I know what the movie... Can I guess again?
No.
If I get the points.
No.
Please read all the clues again.
Eating while talking to an unseen audience. Wait. I saw this in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. Only that movie had better use of colorful metaphors, and I think a whale. Thankfully, NASA has been using universal power cords for 40 years so that if you get stranded somewhere, you can just powder up the old tech with some batteries. And then the last one is incredibly, this stuff works. My phone almost died. I'm good. The movie would have been fine just to catch this dude in the way they planned, which was already hard enough. But then they had to make it even more ridiculous. And even more is all capped. But you can't look at my screen because there's a title here, but it's all in caps.
Yeah,
even more ridiculous.
I have no clue.
No, you did. You had 4.
I have 4. I have 4 clues.
Yeah.
I have 4 clues.
Yeah.
I have no ideas.
You also have 4 people that failed. No, 3 that failed before you, so you have even fewer to choose from.
That's true.
You also have 10 seconds.
Indiana Jones.
All right, Chris.
It's The Martian.
It is The Martian.
What was it?
The Martian.
The Martian.
Yeah. See, I like that game because I win every time because it's just so fun.
We have a clear winner. It is Chris getting 6 points. Although Jeremy's first guess got him 5 points, wasn't quite enough. So
Almost.
I was at the end of the line. So
Yeah, it never got to you.
Hey, you know what we could do? Do you have one more?
We
Do you
gotta
have
figure
one
that.
more?
Yeah,
Let's do a
gotta know.
tiebreak between Chris and Jeremy. Should we do a tiebreak? No. Let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
All right,
go.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Chris will get one to start, and Jeremy will get one to start. That will be
They
the
get
tiebreak.
2 different ones?
Yes.
2 different clues?
No. I mean, we'll go through one with Chris starting. We'll go through one with Jeremy starting.
2 more movies?
Yes, 2 more movies. Let's go.
That's not what I was thinking. Also, eloquent exposition exercise between equines eviscerates every attempt employed towards equanimity. That's the word.
Say that again.
Equanimity.
Equanimity.
No, say the clue again.
Really?
I'll fill in the equanimity part.
Okay,
you can just say the rest.
Cool. Okay. Also, eloquent exposition exercise between equines eviscerates every attempt employed towards
Equanimity. Oh,
equanimity.
Jesus. Oh, my God. That sounds like a Barrett sin.
Equanimity.
I'm trying to remember. Go to the next one.
Okay. They both survived this crash landing that would have crippled the Starship Enterprise. That's 2 Star Trek references. That is not a clue.
Yep. Go to the next one.
Not Saruman shows up to check on the Not Orcs' progress. And can I go home now? I want to go home now. I don't want to be here. I know I said I'd finish this whole thing, but no, I just want to go home.
That's got to be weird.
Oh, my God.
I want to go home.
Guess Indiana Jones.
I'll do one more.
Okay. Between this and Assassin's Creed and Dungeons and Dragons, one has to wonder if Jeremy Irons' 2 fantasy films, what Jay Courtney is to franchises? What Jeremy Irons is to fantasy films, what Jai Courtney is to franchises.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I think I know.
Oh, no.
I should know.
How many hands know it? We got 1.
Oh, no.
I think this is.
Two.
What was the last sin that you read?
Thank you for asking me to repeat the one that I can't. Between this and Assassin's Creed in Dungeons and Dragons, one has to wonder if Jeremy Irons is to fantasy films what Courtney is to.
I'm pretty sure I wrote that down. I think this was a Jeremy and me script. I think
That's an extra clue.
It is. I don't know it.
He's kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes to Jeremy then?
Yep.
For the possible
For the steal.
win.
I mean, it sounds like Aragon.
It is!
Yay!
Shit.
Shouldn't you give me one and
Yes,
give him a chance
that's what
to
I'm saying.
steal
Yeah,
back?
now we have to start one with Jeremy.
Shit. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm super ready for this. Ready for that. Easy peasy. 1, 2. Okay, we'll do this one. Character, quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Narrator, official United States diplomacy.
Official United States diplomacy?
Yeah, character, quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Narrator, official United States diplomacy. That's what it says.
Okay, go on.
Sometimes on this job, all you can do is sit back and enjoy the scene. Oh, you try to come up with sins, but all you can think about is these motherfuckers earned their acting Oscars.
Well, it's got to be a good movie then.
Especially because we called them motherfuckers.
Yeah, but that's when I drop that.
You know.
Give me the third one.
Wow, it's almost like there should have been more than 2 fairly incompetent guards assigned to the most dangerous inmate on the planet. How many know? That's a good amount.
It's the
5 or
first one
6.
I've known.
All right, give them all three to me
so. It's
again.
Indiana Jones.
All
and
3,
Lost.
ready? Character, quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Narrator, official United States diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on this job, all you can do is sit back and enjoy the scene. Oh, you try to come up with sins, but all you can think about is these motherfuckers earned their acting Oscars.
Okay.
Wow, it's almost like there should have been more than 2 fairly incompetent guards assigned to the most dangerous inmate on the planet.
The most dangerous what?
Inmate on the planet.
Give me the fourth one. Fuck it.
But the next time we see each other, I'll be Julian Moore. I think I'm losing my body. Please give me more information.
Oh, God, it's Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah!
Yes, it is. Congratulations, Jeremy.
Bravo.
Very good, very good. All right, let's move into the comment section.
I appreciate your honesty. You're a real straight shooter.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
We're each going to answer. We're each going to answer some questions on Behind the Sins. So we can kind of do this. Whoever has thoughts first. Ian, we'll start with you. What are some of your thoughts on the addition of new writers this year?
I think it's the best idea you've ever had. Absolutely top notch. Well done.
No, but really, what's it been like to add new writers this year for you guys?
I mean, it's always a long, exhausting process. I don't mean to say that about you guys. Like
no, it was for us too.
As a slight of some sort, but it's getting people into the mindset and getting people to think the way we do in a way, but we do want something different because we don't want to be the same all the time and everything. But the process is always a tough one. We did a tryout on like Wonder Woman and Top Gun. By the way, Top Gun, we it's one of those things where you sift through a script that is 400 or 500 sins, and you have your own that you've written too. So you're like sitting there like, okay, I like this one, I like this one, I don't like that, 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 and then you finally come up with a consensus among everybody what's good and what's not and whatever. But they're here now, and they turn in very quality work, and it's great to have new writers. So
yeah. That's been my experience. Is just like the fresh perspective is always fun because there's a sharpening to it. Whenever somebody new comes on the team, it's like there's this element of, oh man, I wouldn't have thought to find that piece of humor in
and then
that
crippling
thing.
self-doubt.
Yes, and then the crippling self-doubt of
yeah.
And Deneé is not new, but like looking at some of the stuff that some of the scripts that she's been on and everything, like a lot of times if there's a female protagonist in the movie or whatever, you see some things that as a white dude, I would never come up with, and
Yeah.
so like there's been several we've done together where like you'll say, boy, I can't wait to see this woman's journey and how she learns everything, and that movie doesn't do that
At all.
you
Like
know.
Romancing the Stone.
Right, Romancing the Stone was one of those, so yeah, it's stuff that you don't think about. You just, I remember watching Romancing the Stone. That seemed like a typical type of thing. The man comes in and like saves everybody, and he knows everything, and she doesn't know anything. That type of thing.
And she's living in New York in an apartment on her own as this writer.
Mhm.
Yep.
But everybody who's come on always has they've come up with their things that have become major parts, major catchphrase type stuff and everything. Obviously, if you see a script filled with puns, it's Aaron Dicer, although it's not beneath any of us to write a bunch of puns either, but especially in those early years when I was looking at some of your earlier scripts, I was like, oh my God, this guy has written 30 puns into this script.
I remember, I wish I could remember exactly what it was. I was writing a script with Jeremy, and I remember I put in the notes of the script, I think I may be trying too hard with this one. And Jeremy's response was, yes, you are.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, I'll back it off a little bit.
It's not only the ones where you make a point to make the pun, but there's the casual ones that just slip through, where you're just calling somebody by something and there's a pun involved with it. So like, there's the sins that are puns, and then there's the sins that aren't really puns but have puns in them. So it's like, God. But so far so good with Ian and Daniel.
We'll see you next month.
Yeah, we'll see you next year. No, they've done really well.
I'm glad to have you guys. We love you, Chris and Jeremy and everyone.
Yeah, glad to be here.
I did know when we were blind auditioning Ian and Daniel and another person, I did know we had a British person in the mix when one of the sins had the word lorry in it.
Yeah. Well, what the fuck is a lorry?
Yeah, I gave myself away.
There were a lot of OUs where we don't have OUs.
Like, I suspect that one of these people is British.
And
I was right.
Yeah, you sent me a message. You said, I know I'm not supposed to make guesses about anything, but I'm pretty sure one of them is British. And I was like, goo. Yeah.
I appreciate the judgment.
I love having people coming in, and it's not just the writing, but it's also just all the things it takes to do what we do, because we obviously have to do more than just write. There's a lot of parts of it that's just business too, and we just have really fun approaches to how we all work together. It's really casual at times, and sometimes it's crunch time, but everybody just hops in and gets shit done, and it's really cool. So it's also fun to find people that just gel well with our quirky group, who has comments in our Slack channel like, I don't know, should we blur the anus a little more here? It takes a special person to understand. like,
what movie were we watching where there was an unblurred anus? What is this movie?
I don't know. That comment has probably happened, though.
It probably has.
It's an example.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What has been your favorite property or franchise to Sin this past year? So just over the past year, what's been your favorite property or franchise?
So not standalone movie?
It can be property would be a standalone movie. Yeah.
I think I'm going to jump on this before I forget but I really enjoyed doing Hawkeye this year. That was a fun one for a lot of reasons. It was sinful as fuck. That's always really fun.
What movie did you say? What did she say?
Hawkeye, the TV show.
I thought you said Popeye, and I'm like, did we do Popeye?
Yes.
The Robert Altman's
Popeye.
Yeah, you don't remember?
Wow, I didn't know that had a tie-in.
It had the unblurred anus in it.
That was the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, olive oil.
No, Hawkeye. I really enjoyed that one. It was a fun experience. It was also when we knew we were doing an Insta-Sin, so we had that season mentality too, kind of knowing that we were going to put it together in like a package at the end. So we were really trying hard to make sure there was a continuity through all of the episodes. And so there was this, the running gag of whether Hawkeye was actually an Avenger or not. And you can see it from the first episode. They're all standalone on CinemaSins, but when you look back on the season and you're watching all of them kind of chunked together, we're going to be seeing like us just digging at Hawkeye over and over again because we were thinking about the long-term consistency of it. And that's a trickier way of sinning something. It's not just like one movie and then you're done with it. When we're doing the TV shows, you have to kind of think about those things that are kind of recurring and doing it too much or doing it too little and finding the balance in there. And that was a fun puzzle piece for me. Kind of reminded me a little bit of WandaVision, but I think Hawkeye I liked more because of just all the activity that was happening, and it was that was a really sinful series, but it was still fun to watch. So it had that nice balance of being something that I could pick apart in every conversation I have about it, but I still enjoyed watching it. So that's mine.
Daniel, what about you?
Yeah, my favorite probably was the series Invincible. That was just it's a really fun show to watch. Like, I think it's really well done actually, and like, so that part's definitely enjoyable, and like it's I don't know, there's just a lot, like, because it is like the superhero genre, so like there's a lot of like tie-ins to like stuff you might like see in like a Marvel film or a DC film. So you can really kind of play with the same kind of ideas, but it's like on its own. So it's got it's a very different flavor, and it keep like I actually haven't even finished watching the first season yet, but I love watching, separating them out instead of binging it, because every time I get to sit down and watch and write it, I enjoy it even more.
Nice. Jeremy, do you have an answer for this question?
Fast 9. I don't even view those as movies anymore. Like, I just start sharpening my knife when they announce a new one. Like, I don't even have to put a sin hat on to write sins for those movies. To each their own. I abhor that crap. I didn't call your favorite thing crap. It's just crap to me. But that was the most fun I had, especially when I decided to just pause everything for like several seconds and just hang on. Let me make sure I'll make sure I understand what just happened here. I knew going in there was not going to be anything in that movie redeeming for Jeremy, which just makes me salivate as a sin writer to get going.
One of my favorite things, I guess I had several choices I could do. Our job is so fun. Like, I love what we get to do. And one of the really fun things I had was on the Shang-Chi script. Where early on in the writing process, Jeremy, you were like, I've decided never to call them the 10 rings. And then you and I just came up with like 30 different things to call them instead of the 10 rings or whatever. Like, that kind of stuff is really fun and collaborative and cool, and I had a great time.
That was where the unblurred anuses was. It was
in
the rings were
the
unblurred.
Rings, got it, yes. The sphincters, yes,
Mm-hmm.
got it. So anyhow, that was a ton of fun. So that's been one of my favorites over the last year. Jonathan.
I always enjoy the franchises, especially ones I'm familiar with, like the horror ones. So like in the last year Ian and I did Scream 4. That was a lot of fun. I just going through like the ridiculousness of how all that had to be set up to get to that reveal. I think my favorite part of that was just the realizing like how ridiculous it was that tiny Emma Roberts was supposed to be like tall Ghostface.
Such a mismatch.
Like,
why would they be partners?
Because she like comes out of that pantry and like her clothes don't fit. Like, she's got all of a sudden she's like stepping on the cloak. And then we did Chris and I did Saw 6, which was a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite Blur moments, because I remember we wrote some sin and then we're like, blur out whatever you need to. And then the edit comes in, you couldn't see anything. I think it was like dude like hanging up from the like a hook or something. And so we obviously had to cut that, although I kind of wanted to leave it because it was hilarious. And then Chris and I also did Halloween 2, which was a lot of fun, just talking about like the hospital that nobody worked at that night, and they had nobody at the hospital on Halloween, and wasting. Oh, and then just analyzing, like we were like the Zapruder film, we were analyzing whether or not he really fired 6 shots, which was really fun. So I don't know. I just have fun on stuff like that where I'm real familiar with the franchise and I can kind of play off everything within it. It's always entertaining. So,
Ian?
Scream 4 was actually my favorite experience as well, because it was my introduction to the Scream franchise, which is just, it's such a messed up way to get into those movies. And I thought I do have enough time to watch 1, 2, and 3. but I'm not gonna because I feel like that's gonna change
you
the way
watched
that I
3.
write the script. No, I hadn't seen.
I think you saw 3. I think you saw 4,
No,
3, 5, and then you haven't watched 1 and 2. I believe.
After I sinned it. So I watched 3 way after I sinned 4.
Oh, I
then,
gotcha.
Then
Yeah,
watched 2, and I still haven't seen. And then I watched 5, and I still haven't seen Scream, the very first one and the best.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just so. It's so. I was like messaging Jonathan with like, is this normal for Scream movies? Like, does this shit happen? And he's like, yeah, to varying degrees. I was like, is it always this dumb? I was like, and everything other than the first one. Yeah, but that lack of a desire to watch any of the other films has led me to watch them all in descending order of quality.
I like it.
Chris?
I can't really think of any franchises at the moment, but my favorite sinning experience I think in the past year was Tenet. Just because that's a movie that makes you have to stop the movie and think about it and go back. I think I watched Tenet. It's weird that a movie that made me have to do more work is one that I ended up liking the best. I watched Tenet through twice, and I watched the scene where everything's going backwards and forwards at the same time. I watched that scene probably 10 times at least. And unlike any other movies, I actually went to read articles about the movie and like looked at the behind the scenes and looked at all that other type of stuff, which is something we normally don't do, sort of actually actively discourage that type of thing. But I really wanted to be on top of this, and I realized that a lot of the articles didn't know what they were talking about either.
Right.
And because there were some things in there, I was like, no, that's not right because this happens, and so on and so forth. But especially just some certain sins in there that were good, and and the fact that we had the moment where stuff was being removed during the backwards scenes and then went back to forward afterwards was one of my favorite little touches that we've ever put into a video. So
there's some. We really went through that with a fine-tooth comb because that concept you're talking about where the sins also reverse, so reverse sins become actual sins and actual sins become reverse sins.
Yeah,
there are some moments where that just switches for a few seconds. And we had conversations about, okay, when is that? Is it when and we decided it's when the camera is in reverse time, right? So it's when what we're seeing is in reverse time, not necessarily because if you're looking through a window, it could be, going. So we had all those conversations to try to get
we
that
unleashed hell on our editors.
I was about to say, by the way, we have awesome editors.
Unleashed unholy hell. Well, there's a point where it was like, oh no, I think this is rewinding.
Yes.
And we're gonna have to change the sin count and everything. But I remember we had that debate too for the longest time about that last sin where Pattinson runs backwards and everything. And I was like, at first I was like, okay, I've got it. And then Aaron was like, no, I don't think that holds. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay. I was about to give up on it. And then I thought about it for another 2 hours.
I know.
And I was like, no. Pattinson can't run through that thing. There's no way he can run through it.
No.
And so
I know it in my heart.
Right. So so that was a ton of fun to do. So
the next question is, what's your favorite sin that someone else wrote this year?
So I was just thinking about like a lot of the ones that are really vibrant to me are when we collaborate with the editing team and kind of like give them a visual example. So for Hawkeye, for example, it was like all the visual text on screen. So we sinned that someone, when they texted, they were like just randomly hitting the screen. And so we were like, just whatever buttons you think they actually push, and then we superimposed that image over the top. And those are really, really fun because it just it plays with the dimensions of the video in a totally new way. And oftentimes the editing team doesn't really have a chance to kind of come to the forefront as being part of the team and like part of our character. So like you'll have a video and you'll be like, oh, I think like Jeremy wrote that sin, or that's got to be a Chris sin. But we get to kind of go, I think that was a Caitlin edit, or like I think Aaron did this one, And so we kind of have this whole different like level, and that's really fun for us because the way that the editing team like will visualize something is sometimes different too. So we'll write something and the editor will look at it and they'll bring it to life differently. I'm like, well, actually that works and it works better. And my favorite sin recently is one of those. It came from, what was the movie, Ian? That you were was the
Cloud Atlas.
Yes, Cloud Atlas. So it's in the scene where he comes in and he uses the cat to cover his penis because he's trying to avoid the embarrassment of nudity.
Of having a penis?
I guess. Mm-hmm. So the sin is, why did this cat ever seem like a valid penis protector? I can count at least 8 other options that don't involve animal cruelty, are less wiggly, and are also not likely to, like rip a, So claws. So what happened on screen though is that the narrator, like the instructions to the editors were like to start adding arrows to all the things in the room, and then like the sin kind of builds upon itself. But when the edit came in, it was just the entire wall of like 8 arrows all at once in your face. Like, here are other options. Bam! And Ian and I were reviewing at the same time. We hit the floor. We were laughing so hard because it was just like in your face. There's a lamp. There's a this. There's a that. And it was just so funny. And that's one of the moments when I just laughed so hard, and I wasn't expecting it. So thanks again to the editing team for all the work on that.
I will jump off that as well, because when we did the bonus round in Paul Blart, Here Comes the Fall Down and Go Boom, I think we called it, we just, every time he fell down, we added a sin in the bonus round. And there was one where he tried to do a slide, but he came up short. And the bonus round just grinds to a halt as he scooches behind the thing. It's the funniest thing. It's just those kind of little touches that the editors do are really fun.
That was probably like more editing care done with Paul Blart than the actual editor. Yes,
fair.
Paul Blart.
Fair. Yep. Jonathan, why don't you go next?
The one that for stupid pops out to me, but whoever the Dune, the Dune video in general was in the new Dune video was great, and but the Oscar Isaac sitting at that table, and it was so simple, but it was just like this table. And by the way, having read another script this week, I can tell you there's more than one narrator horny for Oscar Isaac, which you'll soon find out. But that killed me.
Well, it's funny and there's another video in the future that I'm not going to name just yet that's coming out this month that had a similar sin, and it was, this, what was it? It was whatever was clouding up a mirror. Mm-hmm. And I had Dune like right after that, and I was like, I have to be equal here. I have to be equal. So like it just so happened to come up at this point. Like Dune came out right after this one, and I was like, okay, well, fair game. Okay, this table.
But it is like, but it's so great because that's clearly what that table is being used for.
Yeah.
It's like so obvious. Like I've never seen something more obviously covering something. Mm-hmm. Other than maybe another one that's coming out soon where I've never seen like a pasty or whatever. Like,
oh my God, yeah, exactly.
That was an interesting one too. So we have a lot of like, why is this covering up this coming up for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see, Ian.
So this one comes from TV Sins, and this was for the finale of Squid Game, and I had to pull out a textbook to fully appreciate Daniel's genius. And so apologies for anyone that hasn't seen Squid Game, but one of the characters goes to stab another character that's on the ground, and it's not entirely clear whether they have stabbed them or not because of the dodgy camera work. And the sin is the camera work here seems to be taking on the lofty task of illustrating quantum superpositions. And when a sin opens like that, I was like, I don't know what this is referring to yet. So you immediately line up the video because you're like, there's something juicy here. Illustrating quantum superpositions with its own Schrodinger's Song-Woo thought experiment. This is to say, until the camera films it, he is in a state of both being alive and dead, and I am in a state of being both annoyed and annoyed. And it's so great. Because it's a thinker, but even if you're dumb like me, you can appreciate annoyed and annoyed. That's great. Like it works for everyone, and it's so clever. I love that one. So good.
Daniel, why don't we go to you next then?
You'd better pick one of mine.
Is that how this works?
He did not.
Awkward. Sorry, this one this has been stuck in my mind for a long time. It's from the film Nobody, and Jeremy wrote this one. And this is just basically because of playing golf with my dad recently. So this is what made me appreciate this. It says he sees a couple of home invaders, and he goes to the bag and pulls out is that the 3-wood? Look, I understand thinking about going yard here. You want distance and aim isn't super important, but the problem with the wood is that it's too damn long. It's so damn long. It's too long. You can't swing that shit in a hallway. The club to pull here is clear and obvious. It's the putter. Massive weight on the end, both with a short shaft you can wield with control. It says, unless you have one of those long belly putters, in which case, haha, you pussy.
Oh man.
And it makes so much sense. Like the logic in there is flawless. That's partly why I love it.
So good. Chris, did you have an answer for this?
It was in The Green Knight when you had that one about you can go to the bathroom and not miss anything.
Yeah.
And in real time, this is running, and I think at first we were going to do it where it was just running in real time, no narration, nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And we decided that it was probably best to have some sort of sound going on it goes on for a full 20 seconds where Jeremy goes to the bathroom and walks back and comes back. Okay, what did I miss?
Yep,
And
I knew it.
He's just been walking the whole time.
Yep. That's Green Knight. Green Knight. I have to give a shout out to my writing partner on Ryan the Last Dragon, Deneé, who used the "not going to be needing this anymore" sin on a human child. So that I died when I read that. Just perfect. Yeah, I love that one. Jeremy, you have one for this?
One of the things I like most about Jonathan is his depth of specific knowledge. And so, in Batman lore, in a very famous comic book, Commissioner Gordon's daughter gets shot, and she is basically paraplegic from there on. She's in a wheelchair, and it's kind of controversial even amongst like comic people today. Like that was probably too far and probably misogynistic. But we were doing the Long Halloween 2-parter. Jonathan and I'm sure we were assigned it because we're both big Batman people. And there's a scene in there where a little girl, daughter of Commissioner Gordon Barbara, little girl Barbara, is running around, and he says something like, "Stop that running," or and Jonathan wrote, something tells me you may one day regret not letting her run as much as she wanted to.
It's so bad.
As soon as I saw it, I think I like to think I'm known for writing sins like this, where I'm just a little wrong, but this just instantly went gold. This is staying in. God, this is so funny.
Nice. Well, do we have any audience questions for Behind the Sins? If anybody has a question, feel free to raise your hand and ask it. Any audience Q&A?
There we go.
Okay.
Dexter. Okay, I got you. Okay, so if you go through the alphabet and you're thinking about movies that start with that letter's title, what letter would have the best group of movies associated with it? So, some answers?
C seems to come up quite a bit.
Okay.
Casablanca, Citizen Kane,
Catwoman.
Nice.
Yes. Bravo. That's important.
Coach Carter.
Hey. Right. Crybaby.
So much. Nice. Other letter choices that people like?
S is a great one. Star Trek.
Yeah.
Got it. I think you have to give a shout out to unless we're not doing articles, you'd have to give a shout out to T, right? With all the movies, there have to be a bunch of good ones with that. So, but that's probably a cheat. Yeah. So.
G's a pretty good one. Good Godfather, Goodfellas. Great
Gump Forest.
Great Gatsby.
Any other questions? Yeah, the question is primarily for Jeremy because he talks a lot about scores. But the question is about the movie scores. Has there been one so good that it distracted you from actually enjoying the movie because it was that good?
I don't know that I've heard. I mean, I've heard plenty of great scores in bad movies, but it's easy to be distracted away from a bad movie. I don't think I was distracted from enjoying anything, but I remember recognizing and paying attention to the score in Schindler's List more than most films, because it was unlike anything John Williams had ever done before in scoring a film. There were many moments throughout that movie where I was just like, wow, this music is incredible. But, my next answer would also be John Williams with Catch Me If You Can. So,
I was actually going to say, because John Williams did Jurassic Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love Jurassic Park. I really do. But I think that's an example where I think that score elevates everything in that movie. Like, I feel like it makes you think you're watching something bigger than is actually there at times. I would also argue, like, something like Halloween, like John Carpenter. That movie doesn't work at all without that score. So that's maybe, I don't know if that's a distraction, but it's definitely something where it's necessary more so than, I guess, in other things.
They do say the scores that do their job the best are the ones you don't even know are impacting you, right? Like, I have heard that said. Having said that, like, it is really cool when you're watching a movie just to all of a sudden notice, like, how incredible is this music right now. The most recent experience I had with that, and I don't think it distracted me from the movie too much, but was the Batman. The Batman score is astonishing to me, and I just remember watching that movie and just being like, this is amazing. That's Giacchino, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, he just keeps impressing me. The stuff he does seems to have variety to it a little bit, but it's still his. That's
the guy who did Star Trek, the 09?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, that's a great score.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a recent one.
I have one, and it pains me to say it, but it's in Lord of the Rings. Because by the third one, the dun 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 dun, I'm like a little bit, like where it would come on, that's what I heard, and it almost like it took away from the emotion of the moment, because it's supposed to be like this swell for Frodo or whomever, and it's just this blast of that music, and so the more that I got on in that series, the more I wanted the music to just be a little bit less, because it was already a lot. But also, I think that's the third one, so I don't know if it's the same, because I had like revisited it a lot. Whereas like with Marvel stuff, for example, I didn't even realize that they had different music for different characters.
I don't think they do.
They're so similar.
I didn't, but they do. They're slightly different too. So like they'll show up on screen and like it shifts, and someone told me about that. I had no idea. So that's done well. So then when they all come together and it's like they all make sense somehow, blows my mind. Yeah. So that one is one where I think I've really enjoyed it. But Lord of the Rings is like a slap in your face good. But it's fine.
I think the fact that the score in the movie, the score isn't memorable, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, that movie's sneaky good, though. I like that.
Oh, that movie's great, actually. That just made me think of a dumb joke to tell.
Any other questions before we head out?
Let's go over in the back, over here in the shadow.
In the shadows.
In the shadows. So if the question is, if you could pick any two musical artists to cover each other's music for an album, who would it be?
I'm going to go first so nobody steals my awesome answer.
Do it.
Ben Folds and Beethoven. Because I want to see Beethoven rock out some Rock in the Suburbs or Brick.
So you're like, I guess that's Mozart and Bill and Ted, right? But that's kind of what you're thinking, like in the mall.
Beethoven played the piano too. I just want to see.
No, I know. For some reason, I thought that was Beethoven for a second, but I guess it was Mozart. But I was just
and Bill and Ted's Beethoven. They don't pronounce it wrong. It's They call him Beethoven.
Yes.
I just think that'd be awesome. They both, and I already know Ben Folds can play all the classical stuff, because even though he has a very sloppy performance style on purpose in that band, he's a classically trained pianist. So there you go.
I would go with Mariah Carey and Sandy Patty.
Raise your hand if you know who Sandy Patty even is.
No clue.
Way to reach your audience, Aaron.
Listen.
Wow.
People are laughing. That's all
a
I
pull.
care about. No, there is something. I do love big voices, and I think it's interesting to hear the difference between, how, you could go with Mariah Carey and, a more modern big voice, or Celine even, or somebody like that, just to kind of hear them do each other's songs, and if they would do those same notes the same way, if they would run them different. I just wanted to say Sandy Patty's name because I think it's funny. Anybody else?
I'd have to go with Hans Zimmer and John Williams. Just let them go at it at each other's scores and just see how they did it.
Okay. Fair.
I don't care if that's not the spirit of the question, Aaron.
Anyone else?
Say Trent Reznor and Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
I didn't realize there was a correct answer until now.
Oh, wow. That's a great answer.
I was trying to think of something like that because taking like something really heavy and then taking something a little softer and that's awesome.
Yeah. It's just because I don't know what it would sound like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's good.
That'd be like Iron Maiden and Yanni or something.
Laurel.
Yanni.
Laurel.
Yanni.
All right, one more question. So the question,
Like a pairing, okay.
if I'm understanding this correctly, is you look at the schedule, you see who you're writing with in the movie you're writing on, and you're just like, oh, this is gonna be good. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah.
No, crippling self-doubt every time.
But I think with CinemaSins, I mean, Chris is really good at matching up for every movie. So with that, and then TV Sins is really more of a who knows more of what show. So I mean, I don't know.
I love writing with every. It sounds super, like an easy reach, but I love writing with everybody. There's a different vibe for everybody that I write with. Like, if I'm writing with Jeremy, I'm like, we're gonna have some just left turns, right turns, loopy turns, and so I'll try to be like, I feel like I need to be a little bit more, in Chris brain. Or if I'm writing with Chris, I'll be like, okay, Chris is gonna have some of that stuff covered. I'm gonna be a little crazier. I don't know, I kind of shift. I don't know if I should, but I do. And sometimes you'll read over and you'll feel like it needs a little more silliness. But everyone collaborates really, really, really well. And I've never really felt like when I'm writing with anybody that I'm going to be the ball is going to be dropped or something. It's like we're both going to come to the table with everything that we've got and put it all together. But there's movies that I've been excited about. I was really excited about Raya and the Last Dragon, for example, because I wanted to see that one. And so...
your writing partner on that one was nothing to be excited about.
Yeah. He's a monster, really. Mm-hmm. Just barely does anything. And
it's true. It's fair.
Compliments me all the time about my one sin, though. So
I don't know about anybody I look forward to writing with, but I hate writing with Chris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's understandable. One thing, there is a video coming out later this month, another video coming out later this month that is religious in nature that has Aaron and Jeremy on it, and I knew that was going to be right.
That's what I was thinking about. Like when you ask that question, for me, it's actually more like when I see other people writing and their movies, I get really excited because I'm like, oh, that shit's gonna be good.
And I know that anytime horror comes up, it's usually Jonathan and me.
Yeah, I mean, Ian definitely has eked into that some because he watches horror movies as well.
Just in the wrong order.
But I know that when I do a horror script with Jonathan, Jonathan's going to bring every single 80s horror movie knowledge to the script.
I do every single movie ever released in the 80s. I bring up, and Chris is like, stop.
And I know that there's going to be a lot of stuff a lot of awesome references in it and everything like that. And I'm a big horror fan, but I haven't seen nearly as much Jonathan has. So I always know those are going to be good. So
I will say I don't know if this really answers that question, but one funny thing I was thinking about was when Aaron and I first started doing TV Sins, it was just me and him. Deneé might have even been here at this point. But we did the first American Horror Story video. It was a pilot. And I remember Aaron going, that's a weird show. And but that ended up being really popular, so we decided to do another one. So then we did the Coven season premiere, or the first episode of the season of Coven. And Aaron was like, man, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to ask Chris or Jeremy to write the next one if we do another one of these. He was just like, I cannot do this.
I'm having nightmares.
I was like, totally fair. But we've never done another one anyway. So
yeah, that's true. I think I did have a similar feeling to that. You mentioned Tenet. When the schedule came out and it was you and me on Tenet, I was like, okay, let's go. Let's get on this. It is a fun feeling, and Deneé's absolutely right. It is a beautiful, distinct, separate experience with each writing person, and I look forward to all of them. It's really fun. I enjoyed it all. Anybody else?
I think when me and you hit Doctor Who, I had a similar thing. Let's do this. Yeah. Finally, we get to sin Doctor Who. Yeah. It's just a good combination.
Yeah. Daniel?
I like writing with everyone except for Ian.
Yeah, that's good. That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
No.
That's because I cut all of his jokes.
We all have that one writer we don't want to be with.
Actually, this is a fun fact, is that when I write with Ian and Aaron, we cover a lot of the same ground.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of like sometimes I'm like, when I'm writing something, I'm like, I feel like one of them has already said this, like possibly in their script. So like you do think about like stuff like that, but it's also kind of fun because then like you might like be looking at the same thing or making the same point, but then like you just like you get you'll get like a different perspective, and then you combine it, and it becomes even bigger than it was initially. So, like,
yeah,
that's
that can
kind of
be
fun.
like really reassuring when you both come up with the same point, and you're like, right, how dumb is that? And then you realize, shit, this script is half as long as it needs to be because we both said the same stuff. But it's amazing how often we will sometimes get word for word the same sins.
It's
really
always
funny.
narration. Everyone gets that one.
No, there are some that are 6 or 7 words sometimes that are exact.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah,
Definitely
it is
happens.
reassuring. You're absolutely right. It's like, okay, all right, well, that was a sin, in our opinion.
Yep.
Cool. Anybody else? Last question of.
I think I told JCD that was the last question.
Well, we're going to do one more.
All right, we're doing one more. I've been outvoted.
Good. Okay, the question is, if you were going to write another murder mystery, who would the killer be on the Sins team?
Well, we all know who's getting killed.
I mean, it would be me. Because if I make it Ian or Daniel, they're too new to the team. That's a red herring. People will be mad.
Right.
It has to be somebody it has to be one of the 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's shocking enough if it's Jonathan, because he already has violent tendencies. I don't think it's shocking. I don't think it's shocking enough if it's Aaron, because he's huge. It would be a little shocking if it was you, but everybody knows your character well enough to know you're not a killer. So it would have to be Chris or me, and I wouldn't want to put that on Chris.
No, I mean, I would give you permission.
Okay, well then it would be Chris or me.
Yeah,
we would be the killers, because you wouldn't suspect us until it was too
So we would
late.
take it to a vote. So how many people want it to be Chris? 1, 2. Okay, and Jeremy. Yeah, so
I think the lesson here is Jeremy needs to get to know Deneé a little bit more.
Yeah, how many?
If he thinks she's not a killer.
How many want it to be Deneé? Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm the surprising killer.
Well, Deneé being a murderer seems a good
Kill
place.
me, you're fired.
If I kill you, if I write this correctly, I mean, if you write this correctly, then you could have signed paperwork, and then I can't be fired because you would be dead and you wouldn't make the decisions anymore. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
I think she's trying to create some sort of will. Will in Last
Can we
Testament.
talk after the show?
No.
Deneé being a murderer is as good a place as any to finish this off. So that's going to do it for Behind the Scenes this week. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and go ahead and leave a comment or rating as well. If you've got anything you want to send us, you can mail it to us at P.O. Box 881, Republic, Missouri 65738. Hang out with us on Twitter. We're at Aaron Dicer, at Wits End, at
Sam Loomis 13.
Yes, at Sam Loomis 13, at
J Scott.
Is it J Scott?
TN.
J Scott TN.
At J Scott TN.
At nowhere.
Yes, a couple of at nowheres.
At nowhere.
And at Deneé says.
DNES.
So for Jonathan Watkins, Ian Whittington, Deneé Hughes, Chris Atkinson, Jeremy Scott, and who did I miss? Daniel Cardoso.
Wow.
Right? Am I right?
That's all of this.
That's my name.
So for Jonathan Watkins, Ian Whittington, Deneé Hughes, Chris Atkinson, Jeremy Scott, Daniel Cardoso, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and myself, we will see you next week.
Happy I forgot to look up a holiday. Happy SinWEEK. Yeah, but this won't air. Well, I guess it's airing now. Happy SinWEEK.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks for listening. Send any feedback to bts@cinemasins.com, and be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment. Find more ways to connect by visiting cinemasins.com/bts.
Welcome back. Thank you for coming back from lunch and hanging out with us again.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I don't know, but I'm glad that they're here.
Thanks for coming.
That'd be amazing.
appreciate
if there was
it.
only like 2 people when we
Right?
got back.
Yeah, no,
Like-
it could happen. It could happen.
Oh my
Like,
God!
You know what? We're just gonna go hang out downtown.
They came here to see Captain's Pod. That's
Heck
over,
yeah, they
so they're
did.
going to do other stuff. So, welcome to Behind the Scenes. Okie dokie.
Nope.
Feels like a normal Friday morning for me. Feels like a normal Friday morning.
I like that Aaron said, "Do I work with somebody that says dick tickling?" As if that's one of the worst things any of us have ever said. Also, I would just like to point out, for not because somebody said I have violent tendencies, I have never once been in a fight. Just want to throw that out there. No reason why I'm saying that.
But he has murdered many people.
But I have murdered
they just
many
didn't
people.
fight
They didn't fight
back.
back.
That's right.
There wasn't a fight.
I'm quick with the chloroform.